come on, be in you, which was also in Christ Jesus. Look at it. Romans 12 goes on and says, he says, I beseech you that you present your bodies a living sacrifice, holy and acceptable unto God. But look at what he says. He says, what you ought to do, be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed, come on, by the renewing of Sunday school and Bible study. You know, many times we like the excitement of church, but when it comes time to share information, people get quiet and sleepy. Tap somebody if you please. Tap them, tap them. It seems at this particular point that he challenges the church at Philippi to have a cognizant view of of humility. Look at it. He says, with the same mind, he says, make for certain that you don't think more highly of yourself than you should. He says, make sure when you go to church, he says, make sure you go in there and treat everybody the same. Are you listening to what I'm saying? He says, make for certain that you treat folk really good. Now, watch this. He says, don't go in there looking your nose down on nobody because they don't have what you got. Truth be told, if somebody's looking their nose down on you, let me help you right now. If perhaps they didn't smoke no dope, they drunk liquor. If they didn't drink no liquor, they told lies. If they didn't tell no lies, they were cussing. If they wasn't cussing, they was fussing. If they wasn't fussing, they were doing something. They were chasing up behind somebody's husband. If they wasn't chasing somebody's husband, they chasing somebody's wife. Look at a neighbor and tell them, neighbor, you ain't got no room to look your nose down on me. Listen, you got to have a good, solid mind and set of humility. There are too many people in the church, if you will, who have gotten too big for their britches. He says that we should possess the same mind by having sense enough to know that we all have to employ grace as a partner in our lives. Anybody here know that you need the grace of God? John Newton puts it best, if you will. He said, it was amazing grace. Are you with me here? That saved, not only that, watch this, I got to go. He says, first of all, you got to have the same mind. But watch this. Secondly, he says you got to have the same motivation. He says, I want to show you. Look at it. He says you got to have, come on, the same motivation. Now, he says same mind at the first part, but then secondly, he says have the same love. Are you with? Are you with me here? And watch this. It goes on and says that you got to have the same love and motivation like Jesus had, because Christ died for us while we were yet low down. While we were yet no good. Christ died for us. Can I get a witness here? Now, the English language has many deficiencies. And one is that we have to use the same word to refer to how a man feels about his wife, about his dog, and his favorite sport. We only have one word, love, in the English to express several different kinds of love. Are y'all in here with me? However, in the Greek language of the New Testament, several different kinds of love are explained. Watch this. First of all, there is eros. Eros love, watch this, is erotic love. This is the kind of love that you have for that old ugly man, snagger-tooth rascal, bald-headed. Come on. It's that type of love that causes you to be attracted to the opposite sex. That makes sense? Secondly, phileo love. Phileo is the word, or rather it comes and derives from the word, the English word we utilize as Philadelphia. You understand? It is the friendly, come on, it's friendly love. In other words, you have to learn how to love folk even though you don't like them. Am I right about it? He says erotic love. It talks about phileo love, but here it is. Agape love is so significant to the body of Christ that he says, have that type of love because you have to love folk in the house of God, because you got some of them in here that'll stab you in your back, run in front of you and ask you why you're bleeding. Come on, talk about you like a junkyard dog. Come right in your face and smile at you like they ain't said nothing. Go home and sleep like a hog, slobbing on every pillow they got in the house. And you have to learn how to love them in spite of the way they are. I'm about to leave you. In essence, he says, let this agape love induce an environment of invitation. When true love breaks loose here at Christians United, there's always going to be a sense of freedom and liberty that invites not just lost souls, but it invites the Spirit of the living God. Have you ever had love all around you and recognized that love covers a multitude of faults? Not only does love cover, but listen at it, love calls and says, whoever decides to come up in here, regardless to how you come, the love that we have is going to look over your failures, because you too have sang the song that the lyricist penned. He said, amazing grace shall always be my song of praise. Come on, talk to me, somebody. And look at, you got to the latter part and declared that he looked beyond my faults and saw. Y'all gonna help me preach this? He says he looked beyond everything that I had, all the baggage that I carried. And he saw, come on, my needs. Not only does it cover, not only does it call, but watch this, it also corrects. For the script says, for whoever are led by the Spirit of the Lord are the sons of God. Then he goes on and says, watch this, he says, every one of them that belongs to me, he says, I don't mind chastising them. He says, I don't mind putting a whooping on them and making them understand that I'm still God. That my mama here sits in the choir, if you will. She's a bit shorter than I am, but she's still the mama. That there are some people, if you please, who carry on any kind of way in front of mama. Don't leave me now. Let me help you. They have no type of respect. They'll say anything to their parents and things of that nature. And one thing you have to realize, if you got a mama like I got, my mama will knock the hell out of you. At 34, like she did at 14. Y'all don't like this. Come on, come here. She done had one of those old folk whoopings. Done got grown and still know what the deal is. Somebody ought to help me here, because you ought to have a level of respect. Love ought to tell you not to say certain things. Love ought to keep you from doing stupid stuff. If you got real love, you ought to invite people in regardless of what they smell like. Have I a witness? I got to leave you. Lord knows I got to go. Says, first of all, you got to have the same mind. Secondly, he says you got to have the same motivation. But finally, he says you got to have the same motion. Yeah. He says that you got to get on one accord. Let me help you with that. Those of you who are Baptists and been Baptists, I remember in the church, Pastor Hires, at the meeting. At the meeting, they would come in, sit down, looking at Rev. Every meeting always, in the Baptist church, every meeting about Rev. so, when they come to the meeting, somebody over on the other side, as the presider is there, somebody get up and they say, I want to make a, come on. Somebody said, listen, I want to make a motion that we wear blue and red on choir anniversary. Sister Jones jumps up over there and says, I second, come on, talk to me, somebody. I second the motion. I'll tell you why. Let me tell you why. It's because they already had that meeting before. Paul says that there are some Christians who need to gain some wisdom and stop allowing the devil to just have meetings before the meeting. And what you do as Christians, don't call a hell meeting like them, but you call a prayer meeting. Talk to the Lord and he will. Or look at a neighbor and tell him, say, neighbor, be not dismayed. Whatever betide, God will. I know what I'm saying. He'll take care of you. Is there anybody up in here that knows that God will take care of you? And one thing about it is, before they get ready to vote, they pose the motion. They've had a meeting before the meeting. They're already going to agree. They know which way they're voting before they got there. Matter of fact, Pastor, some of them ain't paid a dime since they've been here. But they're always jumping up with their hellish selves, trying to vote about something. Can I get a witness here? One thing about it is that while we're going through the storms, while we're trying to handle problems in the church, there have got to be some folk that are willing to have a celebration. Did you hear me tonight? And if you're going to have a celebration, we got to have some party food. Did you hear me? And somebody has got to bring, a little party dip around. Did you hear me? And somebody has got to bring another item in order that the party jumps off right. Can I get a witness here? And one thing about it, when you began to celebrate, it calls for a sense of hilarity. It calls for the people of God to have a blast. Did you hear me tonight? And I need to tell you that we can have some festive moments in the name of the Lord if we make our business to get on one accord. Can I get a witness here? And one thing about we've seen things happen in the past because Acts chapter 2 says that they were all in one place. And they went all with one accord. Did you hear me tonight? But I need to tell you that every now and then we need to look back and see what helped the old church. Those prayers are not null and void because my grandmama didn't know any big words. But every now and then she lift her voice and say, Lord, have mercy. Y'all ain't got to help me in a minute. My helper just stepped in the room. And do me a favor if you don't mind. Shake a neighbor's hand and say, neighbor, I've been through some storms and I've been through the rain. But I'm here to tell you that I made it. Tell them I've suffered heartaches and pain. But tell them I made it. Anybody here can testify that they lied on you. They talked about you, but you come in dancing and letting them know that I'm still here. I'm going to celebrate because I still got breath in my body. If you don't mind, deputize yourself as an extension of this message and grab somebody by the hand and tell them, neighbor, I got about 5 reasons why I celebrate. Number 1, he woke me up this morning. Number 2, he woke me up this morning. Number 3, he woke me up this morning. Number 4, he woke me up this morning. Anybody here glad about the fact that he woke you up this morning? You got your right mind. You ain't got to ask nobody to take you where you're going. I dare you to say, thank God, for he was wounded for my transgressions. He was bruised for our iniquities. Anybody here healed? Look at a neighbor, say, neighbor, I'm already healed. Tell him I'm healed in my mind. I'm I'm healed in my spirit. Ain't God all right? Thank God I got joy, unspeakable joy. It's joy that I have. The world didn't give it to me, and the world can't take it. That's why I'm going to praise the Lord till I can't praise no more. That's why I'm going to shout until I can't shout no more. I'm going to shout a little while, and when I get tired, I'm going to sit down a minute, but I'm going to get up again, and I'm going to shout some more. Anybody here? Is there anybody here? Anybody here? Know that the Lord, He's a mighty God. Is there anybody here? Know that the Lord, He'll fight your battle if you just be still. Anybody here? Know He's a good God. Know that He took nothing and He made something. He took something and He made everything. Look at a neighbor and say, neighbor, I'm glad I know Him because He took silicon and oxygen, and He made the dirt. He took the dirt and He made dust. He took the dust and He made a man. He took a man and He made a woman. He took a man and a woman and made all men. Anybody here know who He is? Say, neighbor, that's the reason I celebrate. Yes, I do. Tell neighbor, He took helium and hydrogen and He made the sun. He took the sun and He made light. He took the light and He made heat. He took the heat and He made energy. Anybody here will celebrate with me? Anybody here will celebrate with me? Because that ain't all He did. He took angiosperm and He made a seed. He took the seed and He made a sprout. He took the sprout and He made a brush. He took the brush and He made a bush. He took the bush and He made a tree. He took the tree and He made wood. He took the wood and He made a cross. He died. He died. Anybody know He died? He died. Dead. He got up for me and He got up for you. Is there anybody here? Don't mind right now grabbing somebody and holding somebody and tell them, neighbor, say, oh, neighbor, He been too good to me. He made too many ways for me. He gave me joy. He gave me power. Anybody got power? Somebody shout power. Wow! Somebody shout power. Shout power. Ain't it good? Anybody here tried Him? Know He's a